Thanks for visiting the patient and the weather today. I'm meteorologist Al Peterland. This is a weather report for August 2nd, 2026. We keep additional graphics at tpatw.com. We maintain a storefront on Amazon. Looking at the surface map for Sunday, we have basically high pressure, hot temperatures everywhere west of the Appalachians. There is a cool front hanging from about Cleveland across Ohio through eastern Kentucky, eastern Tennessee, or really about Asheville, North Carolina, and then on down to the Florida Panhandle and swinging west across the Gulf all the way to Austin. Lots of moisture, basically call it Appalachian rains, although it will cover most of Florida also. Looking at our vitality index, where weather and individual weather elements might have an impact on human health, you can see we still do have that flow of monsoon moisture up through New Mexico, a little bit of activity going on up here in the northern plains, some cooling across Montana, and then of course we have lots of unsettled weather across the Gulf all the way here, and expecting the unsettled weather up here in New England. Looking at pressure change, we have falling pressure from eastern Colorado across Nebraska into the Dakotas, just a touch of rising pressure here in Illinois. Looking at the temperature changes, of course, while most of the country will be baking west of the Appalachians, we do have just a touch of cool down here in Montana and Idaho. Note that unusual, but we'll have a surge of temperatures, really strong surge across New Mexico and then up through Nebraska into the Dakotas, and then another neat little surge of moisture across Missouri. Looking at dew point temperature change, except for Utah with rising dew point temperatures, most of the west will have falling dew point temperatures, meaning falling vapor pressure across most of the west, even some falling vapor pressure on the upside of the Gulf Coast, but not right along the border. Note that we have increasing vapor pressure here in the northernmost portions of the middle Atlantic states into New England. Instability chart shows a bit of improvement. Still have instability in the monsoon area of New Mexico, and as typical along the Gulf and portions of Florida. Looking at the change in atmospheric oxygen available, you can see that we're picking up a risk of migraine here in eastern Washington and Oregon, across Idaho and most of Montana. We'll also have an interesting little bubble of migraine risk in southern Florida about Brownsville, and then we'll have a migraine risk area across Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and Tennessee. We'll also have a rather unusual, significant area of migraine risk across the state of Florida. Asthma and arthritis risk, mainly across New Mexico, and then up the plains all the way from western Kansas, across Nebraska, South Dakota, and North Dakota. Just a touch of asthma and arthritis risk across Missouri, and a little bit right here along the outer banks of North Carolina. Thanks for visiting the patient and the weather. Your comments are appreciated. If you hurt, tell us where you're located.